October 7th was bad enough, I think we can both agree. The kidnapping and killing of civilians, war crimes, without anyone having to exaggerate how bad it was. And yet, given the way a genocidal Israeli government, in my view, not yours, has used atrocity propaganda to try and justify the mass killing of Palestinians, especially Palestinian children. And the October the 7th, some would argue, even got as a Palestinian-American child killed in Illinois. There's an argument that guy was infuriated by talk of beheaded babies, etc. Do you regret, Piers, a year later, having used your very big platforms, YouTube, Twitter, to spread that atrocity propaganda, to repeat the Israeli line uncritically, saying, and I quote, 40 babies being killed, some of them being beheaded?
Well, I never said, as people have tried to claim, that 40 babies got beheaded, right? We do know that some babies were killed.
One.
We do know a baby was kidnapped. Well, I mean, what I find fascinating about this, when people started going on their Hamas defense,
that's not Hamas defense. We're journalists. We believe in facts. Right?
I know you do. But I also had Bassem Youssef on last week saying there was no sexual abusive.
Bassem Youssef can speak for himself. I'm asking you about 40 babies being killed, some of them being beheaded. Do you regret saying that as a journalist? You correct things when you're wrong.
As you know, well, I've already said this on my show. So had you done your research in the capable way you say you do, you would know that I've already said, yeah, it turned out that 40 babies were not killed.
That's weird, because I've just checked this morning and all your tweets are still up saying that 40 babies were killed. So if you've corrected it...
I've said it on my show.
But your tweet, you have how many million followers do you have? I know you love talking about your followers.
A lot more than you.
Yeah, how many?
8.8 million.
So 8.8 million, we can still see multiple
But they
examples.
can watch my show.
Which show?
My Piers Morgan Uncensored.
But multiple shows. So you say you got it wrong and you apologise for getting it wrong.
Have
you apologised?
Let me be clear.
I'm just trying to get to the facts.
Let me be clear.
Okay.
Let me answer. Right? There was a report that said 40 babies had been beheaded.
Yeah.
People believed it in the moment. It turned out not to be true. I never actually said 40 babies had been beheaded, contrary to the avalanche of people who on a daily...
You passed it off as fact, Piers. Come on.
I didn't.
October 10th, talking to Joan Collins. This new revelation of 40 babies being killed, some of them being beheaded. How can any human being do that to a baby? Right. There's nothing in there that expresses any doubt.
Right, I didn't say 40 babies got beheaded.
You said 40 babies killed, some of them being beheaded. That's false. None of them were beheaded.
Right, okay.
And you said it as fact.
Okay, but why are you defending Hamas?
That's your response. I'm not defending Hamas. I just started with Hamas did war crimes
babies killed?
on October the 7th. Horrific, and they should all go to prison.
Were any babies killed?
Yes. Children were killed. Yes.
Right, were any kidnapped?
But I'm wondering why you pushed an Israeli propaganda line.
Were any kidnapped?
Yes.
Okay.
Horrific, and I've condemned it, Piers.
Were any people beheaded?
I've condemned it.
Were any people beheaded?
I believe a Thai worker and maybe a soldier were, according to a video.
Beheaded.
Yeah.
Okay, so babies were killed, babies were kidnapped, people were beheaded, right? And your position is you want to sit here and split hairs about
people died as a result of this, Piers. A kid was killed in Illinois by a guy who believed this stuff.
1,200 people got killed.
But you and I are not responsible for that, right? You and I are not responsible.
And nearly 7,000 got wounded.
You and I are not responsible for that.
You want to sit here and try and defend Hamas.
Where did I defend Hamas?
You are.
When?
You're trying to downplay and diminish what they did.
I literally started by saying, don't we both agree the kidnapping and killing of civilians are war crimes?
Right.
So how did I defend Hamas? That's a lie. You just lied.
Yeah, but are you suggesting that I'm
suggesting that as a journalist, you pushed something that was false, you should have corrected it and apologised.
Right. What did I push that was false?
Let me read a line. The new revelation of 40 babies being killed, some of them being beheaded.
Right.
40 babies were not killed, no babies were beheaded.
I never said 40 babies were beheaded.
But you said murdered. 40 babies were murdered. They weren't.
Right.
40 babies were not murdered.
Now turns out that not that many babies were murdered. No. Okay. In the fog of war, it turned out that
and
was
I just asked, my question was, do you regret saying that? That was my question. Instead you said you're defending Hamas. Come on,
so Hamas didn't kill quite as many babies.
No, the Israeli government exaggerated what happened to justify their actual beheading of children in Gaza.
Actually, I think that when 8,200 people were either killed or wounded, it was very difficult for them to establish the truth for quite a few weeks. Okay. We now have a much clearer idea of what happened.
Do you believe the US and UK media are biased in favour of Israel?
Parts of them, yeah.
Why?
Why do I believe it?
No, why are they biased in favour of Israel?
I don't know. I'll have to ask them. I'm not.
I mean, you've worked in it for decades. You've worked everywhere.
Ask them.
News of the world. I'm asking you. You are one of the most famous people in the British media.
What do you want me to say?
Why is the British media biased in favour of Israel?
What do you think I am?
I didn't ask that question.
What do you think I am?
I think you are, yes.
Why would I have so many Palestinian guests?
You tell me.
If I genuinely am biased and don't want to have their say being given.
You have this very black and white view of the world, Piers.
Why would I have you on?
You can be biased towards Israel.
You're one of the most partisan guests I've ever had on my show.
Piers, am I pro-Palestinian? Am I pro-Palestinian?
Of course.
Why do I have you on then?
This
is a ridiculous argument. Just because you have guests on from the other side doesn't mean
actually
you
does.
don't. No, it doesn't, because then I'm not pro-Palestinian according to your logic.
No, of course you're pro-Palestinian.
All right. Am I pro-Trump? Am I pro-Trump?
If you're trying to,
I've got you on today.
If you're trying to categorise me
as a very strange argument.
If you're trying to categorise me as pro-Israeli over Palestinian, yes. I dispute that categorisation.
I'm sure you will dispute it, but I didn't actually ask about you. But we went down that road. The British and American media are biased in favour of Israel. I'm just wondering why you think it is.
Can't answer for other media.
Do you think it's fear?
Possibly.
Do you think it's racism? What do you think it is?
I don't know. Ask them.
I'm asking you.
How do I know?
You're not them. You are there. You are.
I don't know. I don't know what the motivation is.
All right. Let's talk about the other. You're so uncensored until you get to Israel.